kind of tailored a little bit to something that was very problematic, man. We saw people like Bilal Muhammad fall or have lots of, issues with this. But will the UFC finally address these eye pokes, man? Will we have a rule change? Will we have an equipment change? Will there be extra points taken? Will anything happen, or are we going to just continue to let people get poked in the eye, have half their vision, and make them fight? What do you think?
I don't think the UFC is going to do shit about it for the gloves. I don't think that's I honestly think the UFC is going to stick to it because if they haven't done anything at this point where there's been such an uproar and there's been people that are like have legitimate gloves that are way better for this kind of thing, I think the UFC is in it for the money on that one. They already have their stuff, they have it going, they have the system they work with. It's good enough where it's going. I think the biggest change we're going to see is in the refereeing, in the points taken, in the stuff like that. Because, I mean, how often I guess in sparring, it's a little different. You're using big gloves, but like it's really hard to poke somebody in the eye. Like it's like they're very small targets that you're intentionally trying to, jab somebody at, where all it takes is a little move out of the way or a little move out of the way, and then you do poke them in the eye accidentally. A lot of those can be up for consideration, but I think it's up to the judges to really be like, all right, bro, you poked this dude in the eye like 3 times. Yeah, we're taking, a point each round or whatever the case may be. I don't think the UFC brass is going to do shit about it, but I do think the judges are going to get a little bit better. What about you, Derek?
Well, I think that the problem here is that I do think it's very easy to poke people in the eye, personally, man. And this is just from like wrestling, jiu-jitsu stuff, you know what I mean? You shoot in for a takedown, and what's the body's natural inclination? It's just a natural habit to get away, you know what I mean? And you don't want to be that way. You want to be trained instinctively to not do that. But when it's the heat of the moment and you're like, oh shit, I got to get away, look, your hand just jumps out, right? So it's like, man, I've gone in for shots where I just get poked in the eye like crazy. And I'm like, damn, bro, really? And they're like, dude, I'm sorry. And I'm like, I guess it's okay, but don't do it again. Fuck you. No, I'm just joking. I ain't gonna do nothing, man. Listen, but eye pokes are a serious issue, man, and I just think that it jeopardizes the fighter. Same thing with nut shots, man. Why do we allow 3 nut shots before somebody finally is like, all right, bro, you gotta, you know what I'm saying? Here's a point, chill, whatever. It's like you're already super duper compromised. So, do I think realistically anything will happen? Unfortunately, no. Just because this is basically ran by Dana White, and if Dana White's not down, then I mean, what are you gonna do? Literally, what are you going to do? I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do. We talk about it all day long, but at the end of the day, Trevor Whitman, he already has the Onyx gloves, man. But the problem is, and just so we're all aware and on the same page here, I suppose that the UFC wants, if like they're not gonna do a licensing deal with Onyx. They're like, we need to own the patent and we need to own the formula to your gloves. That's the only way that we're gonna do it, because we want the money. Cash cow, man. Cash is king at the end of the day. So I guess that's a unanimous no on will the UFC address these eye pokes, which is very, very unfortunate for not only the fighters' eyes and their careers and their longevity, but also the sport, man, the integrity of the sport, man. It's just, it's tough.